right, everybody, welcome back to the Cain Stevens Super Show, the super show in all the land, I would at least hope. But I'm your host, Cain Stevens, and I've got another super guest. I met her through one of you guys' favorite guests, one of my favorite guests, Doc Peterson, the comedian, and he was so gracious as to introduce me to this young lady right here, and I'm excited to get started. We're going to be talking about tarot. I've had tarot cards before, but have no idea what I was doing with them other than just looking at them. So I can't wait. So with that being said, let's welcome our guest Joan to the show, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. And feel free to call me Joanie. That's how a lot of people...
I should have went with it, I wasn't sure which one, but I went with what was on the screen. So Joanie's good for me.
Yes, no, that's fine.
So thank you for being on the show. Tell my listeners a little bit about yourself in terms of tarot. How did you start getting into tarot card reading and all of that?
Well, thanks for having me on your show, Cain. I really appreciate it. My journey with the tarot started a long, long time ago, actually, when I was a kid. And my first experience with someone reading cards for me was my great aunt Lizzie, a wizened little crone woman. She was actually the aunt of my grandmother, and she lived with my grandmother. And when my parents would take us to visit our grandmother, my younger brother and I would be sent to the kitchen to sit with great aunt Lizzie, and so they could talk with my grandmother. And she would take a regular playing card set and read our fortunes. And great aunt Lizzie was a character. I think she wished she had been abducted by gypsies because she really wanted to be a gypsy.
Right.
She would tell us ghost stories. She would tell us about Bigfoot or Sasquatch. She would tell us all kinds of things. And my younger brother really remembers being taught to read fortune with regular playing cards, which is what he likes to do. I'm more into the regular standard tarot with all kinds of other decks that have modified it. But that was my first experience, and kind of being open to having one's fortune or one's getting one's advice from spirit, although through this little elderly woman. So anyway.
Well, that's definitely a good beginning. I'm probably gonna drive all your friends crazy and all the people. So am I saying it incorrectly? It's tarot. Is that how you say it?
It can be, I think, it's like potato. However you want to say it. I say tarot. Some say tarot. I've heard it different ways.
People say tarot, like T, like do people accentuate the T sometimes? I think that's what I used to do.
I think so too.
Yeah. We'll go with tarot. I kind of like that. It kind of it rolls easier than the other. So you're in different so you've been doing this a long time. The thing that's interesting to me about tarot is, like, when I had the cards, I got my cards at it was either a garage sale or at the Goodwill or something, like for a buck. And so I was excited. I've always kind of been into all this stuff, but I had no idea what it's kind of like, and I don't mean to use the connection to like a Ouija board, because it's not, not necessarily, but it's like it's like buying something like that when I was younger. It was like just buying what I thought were like cool occult items.
Right.
Right. But you're not necessarily I wouldn't say all tarot people are super into the occult either, are they? I mean, it's kind of a different thing altogether, isn't it?
Yes, I would say it. everything goes back to people's intentions.
Hmm.
You can use any of these divination tools, but is what is in your heart and what is in your intentions for their use.
Right.
And my intention, personally, when I was just reading for friends or family members, it was just to help people. And that has continued as I made it part of a business and a profession to do. And that is, my intention is only to connect people with their spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, what message they have for them, to help them with anxiety or
Yeah.
questions in their minds or confusion, or to reassure or even reaffirm. Many people who get readings from me already know the answers. The cards say to them, yeah, you were right. Yes, that intuition that you have of your own is correct.
Right.
Um, and the anything that you get, for those people out there who want to try using any of the types of tools, whether it's crystals or runes or cards, is a good thing is to just learn about them, before you use them, and what is it that you hope to use them for? What is your intention?
Right.
And I think when you get clear about your intention, everything falls into place. Um, the tarot have a certain standard element with the major arcana cards and the minor arcana cards. Oracle cards, I also use oracle cards, and each of those are different depending on what the illustrator or author created them to be. They were channeling those, but the tarot has a very long history and standard format, and um, some current people have modified those sometimes, but most of the time it's following a certain standard structure, is what I want to say.
Well, I mean, because Tarot has been around. I think it came from France. Am I wrong on this? And like the 1700s.
Either France or Italy.
Hmm.
I'm not a really historian on the tarot. I'm more of a user of the tarot.
Yeah.
But yes, there's things called, the Golden Dawn. There's a whole history that you can look up online and
Yeah, for sure.
investigate, for those people who are interested. Um, there are also many readers online who use the tarot, on YouTube, that you can watch and also learn from. Um, and there's books. Rachel Pollack has great books. She recently passed away, I think, and she's written a lot about the tarot. So there's many books and other resources that you use to learn more about them. Getting a card deck for me is mostly what I'm usually attracted to the
Right.
art and the artists and the colors or the lack of colors or whatever. And then when I open up the box, I feel the energy of the deck. And so if that feels right to me, then I'm meant to use it. So
Yeah. It's kind of like a fate driven type thing, like be it like just like playing cards in general, but in a very different way. I mean, you're succumb to the fate of whatever cards you're given, the luck of the draw, that type of thing. But it's a lot more spiritual than that, correct?
oh yes, I mean I'm an intuitive,
Mhm.
and an intuitive psychic, and I have I'm clairaudient, so I hear things. I'm
Yeah.
claircognizant. I feel a deeper knowing about things, and I like to say I remove a filter and let whatever filter up first come from the readings that I do with a client. I invite your spirit guides, your guardian angels, and ancestors forward, And then I ask my guides to help facilitate the messages coming through. So I get signals of energy going up and down my arm. I hear things. After you learn the cards, sometimes you develop your own meanings in the cards. They mean something in addition to the traditional meaning of the card. So you can, when those things come out, you can tell the story together, because different cards combined together may mean different things.
Yeah. So the
I don't know if that
combinations
makes
matter,
sense.
right? Like all the I think I was a little off base in what I guess what I'm getting at is I don't believe in coincidences by any means whatsoever. I think that everything kind of syncs up on purpose for many reasons. And I think that even with the fate of the card, just letting fate do its thing. And that I think that it's not a coincidence that it comes up, obviously. And I think that you
Right,
probably would agree with that. What's interesting to me is like that's what I was attracted when I first got that first deck. And trust me, I don't use them. I have no idea what I'm doing with. I just liked the art of them. They were just
right,
beautiful cards, really really cool artwork. And but you would get scary cards, and like the one that always scares people that I think is a misnomer is like the death card, right? The death
right.
card
And
is not you're dying tomorrow.
no, it's not. It's actually about transformation.
Hmm.
It's about you are one phase of your life may be ending, in terms like you're graduating from high school. You're
Yeah.
no longer going to go to high school. That is ending. Now you're heading into a new cycle. You're giving birth to something new. And as you grow and mature, the death card shows you that you can reinvent yourself. And
Right.
I want to go back to your comment of faith. The thing that I do for the readings is they're not, the energy here is not set in stone. It's captured for a moment, and it's meant to inform you so that when you make a decision, which you have full power over making a decision,
Hmm.
then you can decide which direction you want to go in.
Yeah.
So it's never like, oh, doom and gloom, this is the end, I have no power. No, this is about you taking back your power. Don't give your power to me. Don't give your power to anybody else. Take your power, take responsibility, and figure out what direction you want to go in. And this may help you in that way. So it's not like, oh, is this what's going to happen? Oh, I give up.
Yeah.
It's not meant for that.
It's to help people take control of their lives a little bit, instead of just throwing your hands up and saying, well,
Right.
these are life's cards that I'm being dealt, and I'm just going to, do
Right.
nothing about
And,
it.
and sometimes if there is some tough messages in the cards, the positive, as I usually approach it, is what are the lessons that this tough time is supposed to be teaching me?
Right.
What am I supposed to be walking away from? Because I have an old friend used to say this to me all the time. It's the fire that tempers the steel, Joni. It's the fire in our lives that mold us into being better people. And maybe that's my upbringing. My mother used to say the same thing, is like, what do you do with the stuff you're given? You become wiser, you become better, you become stronger.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I see. Even if there are some interesting messages in the cards, is what is it that you can learn from it?
So how often would you say, like yourself, how often do you put the cards out? How often do you use the cards? Do you do it daily? Do you do it multiple times a
Oh
day?
yes. Well, I have a Instagram account and a Facebook account where I pick daily cards and put those out for people to see the card of the day and the
Okay.
energy of the day. And most of the time they're speaking to me. And then at the same time, I'm always amazed at when the followers say spot on for them.
Hmm.
So sometimes I think there are universal themes and energies running through these times for a lot of different people. There when I do a fair like the Zen Fest out in Grand Island or in Omaha or whatever, or even when I'm in one of the stores that I read out of, if I'm reading for a series of people, one after the other, believe me, sometimes there are themes that run throughout everybody.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me how we may all be at a transition point, or how many of us may be starting a new cycle or facing something we need to learn from. So it's really fascinating. It's really fascinating.
It sounds like it. I just it people I think people view tarot readers as like like someone sitting on a table with a crystal ball in front, that type of you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
that old school thought process of it, and it's almost like super taboo, like, ooh, I can't believe I know this tarot reader. But I mean, you're at the end of the day, you're a normal person like the rest of us.
Yeah, yeah. And I do this all on the side. I have a
Yeah.
full-time job that pays the bills.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't pay the bills yet. But what I hope to do, like I said, is my intention is always to help people. And I know many other practitioners, when I do the Zen Fest or when I do the Omaha Holistic Expo or some other event here in Nebraska, all the other people around me are, their intention is to help, whether it's they're helping with Reiki healing or some other health holistic health practice or whatever. They're just trying to help people. And a lot of people are looking for help, actually. So it's not as taboo as you think. There more people are kind of opening up. And the thing is, this does not preclude. I do believe in God. I believe in the higher power, and I believe in the positive things, that when you are grateful and appreciate things, that more comes to you. Some of those universal laws
Hmm.
is the law of gratitude, and then everything builds from that.
Right.
So I just hope to help people find that within themselves and within their own world and worldview, that they can choose their path, and they can have a direct relationship with their spirit guides, their guardian angels, their ancestors. I'm very much into the ancestors. My mother is probably here right now, um having a great time, in this process as well. She comes with me to every event that I do. So
She could be saying, "Don't go on this show." Now that she's seen what it's about, she's
no,
like,
no,
"No,
no,
no, don't
no.
do it."
She would be front and center if she was able to be on the show. So,
Well, I just love that. I just love being able to talk to you and seeing that there's such a positivity to what you guys are doing, because I would like, just like with the paranormal field, for example, I would like people to get rid of the negative stigma of it all, and just look at it for what it is. People aren't all in it for the bad of it all. And I think I another thing that you hit on that really stuck with me is like, the fact that you believe in God or a higher power and do this. For me, this type of stuff, it heightens my feelings even more about how I feel about God. Whoever your God is, whatever. I mean, I have my beliefs, whatever. Maybe you're not. I don't know if you're a Christian or what, but whatever God a person believes in, for me, it heightens my feelings with all of that. The spirituality, it doesn't turn me away from it, it actually turns me further towards it. And so a
mhm.
lot of people, when I talk to them, they're always like, well, how can you be into the paranormal and do all this crazy stuff and still believing, it's like they get that judgmental kind of old school, almost like the old Catholicism look at
Right,
things. And
right.
it's just like, let's drop that and just realize that people can
Yeah,
be into this stuff and love God as much as they can.
right. In fact, it may be those other beings are also part of God. There is that law of oneness, that we are all connected to each other. We're all
Yeah.
one with God.
Yeah.
That's where our soul goes. We're really a soul with a body, not a body with a soul. And my soul is connected with your soul and is connected with all souls on this earth, and even the paranormal souls, the souls and the beings on the other side of the veil. We're all connected. And so, I mean, one of the other things I do, Cain, is I'm a facilitator of the Lincoln Metaphysical Discussion Group here in Lincoln. And
Okay.
we meet once a month at one of the public libraries. And we discuss things like this.
Yeah.
We discuss different topics of the metaphysical and the paranormal. And it helps people understand a little bit more. And there's people of varying knowledge levels there. I wouldn't say that I am the most knowledgeable, but I have learned a lot more. And um, I don't know why people want to maintain the fear of the things they don't understand or don't know. But fear is a blockage.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a block. And so if we could let go of all fear of anything, actually, that would be good, because then we would really trust God.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm going to let go of this fear because I know God is going to take care of me. And even if there is a little disaster here, again, that's for me to grow as a human and as a soul, because my soul has come here to experience something,
Right.
bad and the good, and the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
So, I need to trust that what is ever happening to me is meant to be.
Yeah. No, that makes, so can anybody come? You're saying anybody can come to these meetings that you guys do?
Yes, yes. I have a Facebook page and a meetup page called the Lincoln Metaphysical Discussion Group. It meets once a month at one of the public libraries. It is open, it is free, and we have some really deep discussions sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm gonna have to pop in on one of those and just sit and listen to you guys and hear some of that wisdom and just kind of check it out. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
yeah, you will meet a whole bunch of people that maybe you would want to invite onto your podcast, because
Yeah.
a lady, an older couple came the last time. They were brand new to the group, and they're very much into ETs.
Oh
And
wow.
they talked about communicating with extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what your areas of interest are, but I got all kinds of people who come to that group. So,
Well, my meter just went off like when you said ETs and yeah, my meter just went through the roof. So yeah, of course. Yeah, I like talking to everybody in all walks of life. Like that's the whole thing is I'm trying to. Yes, I do a lot of paranormal stuff because it's just what I'm interested in. But I'm also a musician. I do a lot of other things. I'm trying to talk to all different walks of life. So like this particular show is very important to me because it kind of it kind of ties in, but it gets away from all that too. I keep telling people I'm the poor man's Oprah for Lincoln. So yeah, the only prize we're giving is this show. So
well, but it's expansive. I mean,
yeah,
I think it's a positive thing to always want to be open to learning something new. And
oh,
the way to learn something new is through other people. We all bring gifts and talents to the fore, so that are unique. So why not learn more about them?
well, my inquisitive mind is always rolling. It's always moving, and this is it's not a distraction. It's more of like a way for me to channel my act overactive mind. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I use it for. I don't
Mhm.
know how other minds are, and I don't think that it's not like I think I'm a higher intelligence, and it's not that. I just my mind is like a ridiculous spinning wheel that I can't stop. It's hard to slow down, and it's almost a curse or like a hindrance at times. You know, I look at it that, but it also blesses me in a lot of ways too. It makes me
Right.
quicker
Yes.
to a lot of situations. I'm more aware of what's going on, and all that sort of thing. You
And
know,
you've learned how to focus it as well in this
yeah.
podcast.
Well, it's taken me, I'm 41 now. It's taken me this long to finally start maturing as a person. So, someday maybe I'll even be considered mature to others, but my kids
Yeah,
think I'm like a giant child, just because of the way I am.
that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I was thinking while we were talking of an interesting, have you guys ever had like multiple people in a row pulling cards at the same time? Do people get like a synchronicity of the same cards being pulled ever? Is that something that ever would ever happen?
I've not really experienced that,
Hmm.
but uh you know, I have had, I'm trying to think of the different experiences I've had. I've been in rooms with lots of readers. One of the stores I read out of is Solstice in the Vale in
Hmm.
La Vista, Nebraska. And they often have, usually it's one reader a day or a couple a day. But they have events where they might have several readers in a room, and people come around. And I know when I am near other readers, we're feeding off our energy. The energy is really up and high. And
Yeah.
so that makes me even more clued in when the energy is flowing like that. And I am like getting more hits or more, I'm getting these readings where people are looking at me like, oh my God, wow, I can't believe you've said that. So I think, to be perfectly honest, I think people don't expect what they experience from me. And
Right.
and what I mean is I don't look that witchy or that gypsy looking.
Mhm.
A friend of mine said, "You look so normal."
Right.
And so I think that tricks people. So when they sit down and then I start giving them a reading, I think I give them something, an experience that they were not thinking that they were going to experience.
Yeah.
I've had many people going, "How did you know that?" I had a client once where, like I said, I'm clairaudient, so I heard the word movement when I put down the cards, and I said that to him. I said, I heard the word movement. And the energy of the cards was moving. The One of the cards was the Knight of Swords, and that guy is running. He's running, he's moving. And
Hmm.
the client looked at me really funny, like, ah. And then afterwards, at the end, I said, "So is there anything you need to have clarified?" And he said, "I just want to know how you knew that my wife and I discussed this morning that we were going to move. We want to move out of Nebraska." And I
Right.
went, "I didn't know, but," I said, "your spirit guides and your ancestors and your guardian angels who I invited forward, they know, and they're telling me movement." So
Yeah.
I may hear the word, I may not know the full association, but the client will tell me usually by the end, like, how did you know that?
Yeah.
So it's that kind of stuff that I experience. Um, and the other thing about the cards when I'm reading is I look for patterns as well. So not only am I looking at the meaning of the cards, but sometimes I look at the patterns of the uh the the numbers, the the there are different suits. So if they're all swords, it's all you're really stuck in your head,
Hmm.
kind of thing. So I'm looking for an overall pattern that I may see as well.
Yeah.
And I have other stories about other readings I've done where the patterns were so clear in the cards. It was incredible. So,
Well, I know we're getting close to taking a sponsor break here. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I am curious. I mean, would you be interested in doing a reading for me on the show to show people, like what it's about? Would that be a possibility, or would that be kind of like another show type scenario?
oh no, I can do another reading if we have like another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That is not a problem.
Because maybe we could come back in the second half. We could tease it a little bit if you have time to do so. Maybe we could come back and do that and then talk about it if you'd be interested in
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
I think that
yeah.
it would really be beneficial to the listener and the person watching at home to see to see a reading and what it is. Like maybe do you have to, is there a certain way? Do you have to lay the cards down? Do they have to stay down? Can you show the card? Like, how does it
Oh
work?
yes, I can show the cards. That's not
Okay.
a problem.
Okay.
I When I do a Zoom with a client, I
Yeah.
like to show the cards. I'd rather do a Zoom than a phone call because I
Yeah.
like the clients to see the cards. So I can hold them up and yeah, as long as you don't mind the listeners, because I don't know what's going to come out for you.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't mind the listeners seeing in your reading, I don't mind doing a public reading at all. I do them, at these events, and people are walking by, listening in and watching as I'm doing them for the clients at like the Zen Fest or something.
No,
So,
I certainly don't mind. I mean, I just had Dean, the military medium from North Dakota. He did a reading for me. My life's kind of an open book. Yeah, I've had kind of a weird trajectory. I almost died a few years ago with heart
oh,
issues. And I've fully embraced the fact that I've given the gift every single second that I get to draw breath here. And so I enjoy the experience. I use all of this as I'm finally getting the human experience. I'm getting to talk to, wonderful people like yourself here. That normally, I probably wouldn't wander into a place where you were doing something like that. And here we are, and we're getting to connect and talk as human beings and just kind of enjoy this experience. So, I mean, if you would be willing to do it, I would love to show people what it's like. I'd love to get a reading and just see what's said. I mean, I would love to know what's next for me.
excellent. All right.
Awesome.
Sure. Let's
Well,
do
with
it.
that being said, let's let's get down to it. And we'll take a break here. I've got a couple wonderful sponsors. I've got a new sponsor, Sly Ink Tattoo here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'll be running some commercials pretty soon for that, but a good friend of mine is the owner. So if you need a tattoo, please go get that. And then we always have the Elegant Sasquatch for all you bearded people out there who don't want to smell like you're like the old school Sasquatch. You want to smell like the elegant Sasquatch. So with that being said, we'll take a quick break here and we will be back, and I'll be getting a reading from Joanie here. Hey there, fellow follicle enthusiasts. We have a sponsor that's about to make your beards go wild with delight. Brace yourselves for the one and only, the elegant Sasquatch. Are you ready to unleash your outer beast?
Cain, I've been waiting for this moment my entire bearded life. But tell me, how can the elegant Sasquatch help us awaken our inner beasts?
Oh, my hairy companion, the elegant Sasquatch has a treasure trove of beard products that will have your whiskers partying like it's the wildest night in the forest. From their aromatic beard oils to their beastly balms and buttery concoctions, they've got everything you need to make your beard sing with joy.
I can almost hear my beard belting out its own rendition of I Will Survive.
Your beard is in for a treat, my friend, and here's the best part. Every single product is handmade with love. Picture this, a team of Sasquatch artisans rocking their aprons and wielding their grooming tools, crafting beard goodies that will blow your mind. It's like a hairy fiesta of craftsmanship.
I can see those Sasquatch artists dancing with their combs and trimmers like they're on a hairy stage.
Absolutely. These bearded maestros pour their heart and soul into every bottle of beard oil, every tin of balm, and every tub of butter. They're like the Michelin-starred chefs of the beard world, creating culinary delights for your facial hair.
My beard is salivating in anticipation.
Well, get ready for your beard to do a happy dance because the elegant Sasquatch has you covered from all angles. Their beard oils will make your whiskers as smooth as a buttery glide. Their balms will sculpt your beard into a masterpiece that would make Da Vinci jealous. Their butters will leave your beard softer than a cloud made of marshmallows, and their washes will cleanse your beard with a scent that's fresher than the waterfalls in the Rockies.
My beard is ready for the bearded revolution.
You can find the Elegant Sasquatch on Instagram and Facebook. They're ready to share their hairy wisdom, showcase their bearded customers, and entertain you with memes that will make your mustache curl with laughter.
I can't wait to join the hairy community and bask in the glory of their bearded memes.
So, folks, get ready to let your beards run wild. Unleash your outer beast and head over to Facebook and Instagram to find the Elegant Sasquatch. Trust me, your beard will thank you, and you'll be the envy of every bearded creature in the virtual forest.
Here's to smelling like a wild creature and embracing your inner Sasquatch.
Cheers to that, my fellow bearded brethren, and stay elegant with the Elegant Sasquatch.
All right, we're back from our break with our sponsors. Hopefully down the line, maybe we'll get syndicated or something and we'll be on like a station identification. A boy can only dream, right? But for now, here we are. We're on the internet. We're all over. We're on Spotify and everywhere else that you can listen to podcasts. And I'm here with another super guest on the Cain Stevens Super Show. I'm here with Joanie Barnes. She's a tarot reader. You've already been tuning in. If you haven't and you were living under a rock for the first half hour or whatever, come out of that rock and you're going to enjoy this portion of the show as well. We kind of dove into what tarot is, what Joanie does, and now Joanie has been so kind as to agree to do a reading for me. So my life's an open book. Here's Cain's open journal for everyone. Dear diary, here's another entry into my life. So with that all being said, let's get started whenever you're ready, Joanie.
Okay, fabulous. So I take it, Cain, that you just want to know what's up next for you.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what everybody is kind of interested in is what's next. And I promise I won't like shudder and fall over if I get the death card because you explained to me that it doesn't mean I'm dying tomorrow.
It's actually a good thing. So
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's jump in. I usually start with a little prayer. I ask, here, Spirit, I have Cain here, and Cain would like to receive messages about what's next in his life. I would like to invite Cain's spirit guides, guardian angels, and ancestors forward with any messages they have for him. What are the most important things you would like to communicate with Cain? I'm shuffling as we're doing this.
Okay.
And I would like to ask that my spirit guides, guardian angels, and my mother Lucille come forward and help facilitate the messages coming through. Okay. So one of the things that I do, Cain, is I let the cards come out as they will. It's like Spirit is picking the cards. I'll put them down onto the table and we'll go through them once I've got them all out on the table, and I'll hold them up so you can see.
Okay, thank you.
At any time you have a question, let me know and we can get clarification.
Okay.
And as I said earlier, I'm clairaudient and claircognizant, so I may hear things, memories may come to me, even song comes to me, sometimes lyrics to songs, just different things. So this reading is for Cain. What do you want to tell Cain? What messages do you have for Cain's spirit? What messages do you have for Cain?
So can family and friends come through this type of thing? Like, is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. When I invite your ancestors, that's definitely included. They're part of your soul tribe. They're there. They're more around you than you know.
And this
So
is so cool. I'm pumped. I'm absolutely vibrating right now. I'm pumped.
fabulous. And you got some good cards coming out, actually.
Oh, thank heavens.
Ooh, okay. All right. Wow. All right. You've got some awesome cards. Let me tell you what deck I'm using though before.
Yeah, please.
I'm using this deck called the Light Seers Tarot.
Okay.
It's by a woman named Chris Ann, and it's a modern take. And I actually had 3 different decks out this morning, Cain, and I asked Spirit which one to use for you, and this was the one I was supposed to use for you. And I
Awesome.
can see why now.
It wasn't the doom and gloom deck or anything.
No, not at all. It's actually, you've got some awesome cards. Now, what I do is a modified, what is called a Celtic cross.
Okay.
And anyone who does the tarot, this is one of a standard readings where there's a cross made.
Yeah.
Mine is on its side, but that's what I modified with it. So right smack dab in the middle of the cross is the current situation. And you got the Ace of Pentacles.
Ace of
And the Ace of Pentacles is new. Aces represent what is new in our lives, what is just beginning. And as you can, I don't know if you can see, but this little pentacle is sprouting.
Yeah.
So it means whatever seed you've planted, it's beginning. It's beginning to sprout. It's beginning to grow.
That's awesome. And beautiful artwork too. Super cool.
Yes. Oh, it's wonderful modern artwork, and it's multicultural as well. What is crossing this? What is the second card out is usually what is the challenge, what may be helping or hindering. And that is, there is been, and maybe continues to be, a time, this is the Hermit card, a time where you're going inward. And you're thinking and you're meditating and you're contemplating, and you may also be on a spiritual journey. But the beautiful thing about the Hermit is that as she's levitating and she's glowing at the same time, the Hermit is about the light within us and following the light of spirit and the light of spirit that is within us. Already. So you've got this Hermit period that's crossing. So maybe you've been feeling like this hasn't sprouted fast enough.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's because you're still on some sort of journey and you need to let that unfold. Okay. But stay true to your own light. Okay. Now the card that's at the bottom of the cross, which usually for me in my readings represents what's really deeply going on inside of you. You got the 6 of Wands, which is success. She's standing there in triumph, and the spotlight is on her. The crowds are honoring her.
Yeah.
So the victory laurel is here. The torch is lit. So, I mean, I think you must feel ready to go. I mean, you must be energized. You're ready for that victory. Maybe you've had some success so far and you're feeling good. And you should feel good. Okay. You should feel good. Now, the card that's at the top of the cross, which is the energy outside of you and around you, is another interesting one. It is the 3 of Wands. So this person is standing there looking out at the waves. They're They're ready to go surfing, but the water is not, there's no waves to be had. There,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the surfer lingo. Sorry, any surfers out there in the
Neither
ether
do I.
listening to this. So I don't know what it is that needs to happen to make the wave, but this person is waiting.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder you are in this place where you're contemplating, because you're waiting for the wave.
Right.
The wave hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So you just need to be patient and know and trust that the wave is going to come. That's what this person is doing. They're waiting on the shore. They know that the weather or the currents or whatever it is that needs to change the environment of the ocean to make the waves for surfing will happen. Just a matter of time.
Man, this makes so much sense with things going on. And not only that, but it's like, it's interesting because I'm testing my patience right now. I'm not a patient person, but I'm learning patience as I get older. And the thing is, like, as a musician and as an entertainer and things, it has driven me nuts for years waiting on people. And so I will do things and I will dive into things so fast, and sometimes it's a mistake, because sometimes I will go into it, but I will go into it unprepared. Or if I had just waited and prepared and done it, I could have done it better. So this could be a great lesson for me.
Yes, that's what this message is. And you're getting it further message. The card that would be on the right of the cross is in the place of the past.
Okay.
And it is the 7 of Pentacles.
And
this is also about patience.
Yeah.
He has planted all these seeds and they're not ready for harvest yet.
Yeah.
But they are growing. They are growing.
Yeah.
You have to trust that they're growing. And that's what Spirit is trying to tell you. Trust that as everything is on track. It's not ready for harvest yet, but it's on track and it's going to happen for you. So this is the past. And what I like to say to my clients is the card that's in the past position is there to remind you of something in your past. Another time when you learned to be patient and you waited, you let something unfold and grow.
Yeah.
Because co-creation, what you're talking about, Cain, is co-creation. You can do all you need to do, but then at some point you have to take your hands off of it and let God or the universe or the higher power do its magic.
Yeah, absolutely.
For you. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the future side. The right side of this cross, there's a couple of cards here and they are awesome.
Yes, yes.
The first is the star.
Oh, yes.
Again, this goes back to the light that we saw in the Hermit, the light that's inside of you, the light that is linked to Spirit here. So to me, this is about continuing to follow your dreams, the path that Spirit has given you, and having hope for all of these things to happen and being connected to the higher spirit. So the star is about making a wish on a star, about having hope on those stars, and about that spiritual connection. So I love this card for you. And then the other card that came out is and that's a major arcana card. You have the Hermit, the Star, both are major arcana cards. And you've got a third one, and that's the Lovers.
Oh, boy.
So now this could have to do with relationship, but it also, a bigger meaning for the Lovers is making choices and making a commitment. Because in the Lovers, in the Standard Tarot, it's a couple coming together, getting married, and it really is about choosing each other and choosing the commitment. And this can be more than relationship. It's that commitment to oneself, one's dream, one's purpose. So the lovers can mean many, many other things than just, oh, I'm finding a new partner in life, and stuff
Oh
like
no,
that.
my wife would be very sad if that were the case.
Well, I mean, for that, it could be that you take that relationship to another level,
Yeah.
but it's definitely its other meaning underlying is commitment.
Hmm.
And what commitment you've made to what you want to do, your purpose, your life, your development, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's an awesome way to
Right
end
on.
there. And well, I always ask this question: what did not make sense? What did we need to clarify?
Man, I oddly, a lot of it did make like perfect sense, especially with what I have coming up. I've got a lot of things in the works. I feel like it was, I'm underneath these glasses. I'm getting a little teared up thinking about like some of it because I think about like when I was playing guitar to my grandmother, on her deathbed, as she was dying, and I was ready to give up hope on music and everything. She was kind of like in and out of coherency and all that, but she was very coherent when she was talking to me at that time, and she told me not to give up, that it was my purpose to keep going, and it's really the number one thing that's driven me to keep going on all this stuff, because it things can be very what do I want to say? Things can be very, especially in entertainment. I mean, you drudge through some of the worst of the worst. Do you do a bad show? You do this or that, and you just feel like, man, I'm just gonna throw my hands up and just give up. But for some reason, I just keep rolling forward and keep going. And so I'm hoping that this is my ancestors. I'm hoping that I'm not just some useless dreamer that dreams and never accomplishes. So, kind of like the dad in the movie, who he's the hopeless dreamer who the family just kind of like sinks because of his dreams. I don't want to be that guy. I want my dreams to become realities so that my kids can see that if you work hard enough at something, you can be something. Even in adversity. Like, I mean, I'm a stay-at-home dad now because of my heart conditions and all that. And I have my struggles with my health, but I mean, I'm doing pretty well. I mean, our doctors know what they're doing at times. Smart people know how to do smart things to help us out, and I just feel like I'm on a trajectory in my life where it could be very interesting. So I just hope and pray that these cards they feel like kind of like they're allowing me to kind of breathe for a second and go, yeah, I just need to slow
Yeah.
down, stay the course, right?
Yeah, stay the course. I think don't get too attached to the results right away.
Yeah.
Patience is hard, but there is a lot of message here about patience. You've planted the seeds. The
Hmm.
seeds are there. Now it's about waiting for the right conditions, right? Being that surfer, waiting on the shore, waiting for those waves. Those
Yeah.
waves are going to come. They're not right now, but they're going to come. And this star is about keeping the faith. Got to keep the faith. You've got that connection to spirit. Spirit already knows your dreams, okay? Already knows. And frankly, doing this is also success. Sometimes I think we need to change the definition of success,
Yeah.
and that is just being there for our families sometimes is the
Yeah.
greatest success.
Of course.
Now, one of the other things I do, Cain, is I not only read tarot, but I have oracle cards, and for every reading, I ask Spirit to give me an oracle card as a wrap-up message.
Hmm.
And so for yours, I was told to use the wisdom of the oracle.
Okay.
And while you were talking, I shuffled, and a couple of cards came out. And one was soulmates. So what I'm going to say to you is, you have a team of people around you, your wife, your family, others, maybe friends, supporters. These are all soulmates. They're all
Yeah.
here to help you. You're not alone in trying to make your dream happen. So just know that you've
Okay.
got people that you can depend on and who are supporting you. The other card that came out is interesting. It's called Between Worlds. So we've got a flamingo going from the gray to the color. What
Yeah.
I feel is you are not fully in, you are still working out an old cycle. And
Mhm.
so you're not fully yet into the next cycle
Yeah.
of that. Your seeds are planted, they're growing. The harvest cycle is not here yet.
Yeah.
So just be reassured, part of you is in color,
Yeah.
but the other part hasn't walked over the line yet.
Man, this
Okay,
is
that's
mind
what I'm,
blowing to me, Joni. It really is.
yeah,
It's just so interesting, and it just makes so much sense. Like I'm not a skeptic of. I mean, I'm a skeptic. I don't mean it like this, but what I'm saying is I wasn't skeptical, but I've never had like a true reading, so I didn't know what to expect. So I mean, I just figured, some random cards are going to come through, this type of thing. But it all kind of like really does make sense
yeah.
into what's going on in my life.
Yeah, I don't believe in I don't believe in coincidence either. I'll go
Yeah.
back to what the statement you used earlier in the show. I believe that you know, I invited your spirit guides, your guardian angels and ancestors forward, and they're around you.
Hmm.
They know what you want. They're trying to help you in whatever way they can. And calling on them to help you isn't something that you can do. All of us can do that.
Yeah.
They won't intervene unless you ask them, please help me.
Yeah.
Please help me figure this out. Send a sign. And that's when interesting synchronicities and other things happen. So I don't really believe in the random. Sometimes I may not be the best reader for a person, and what comes out may not resonate.
Yeah.
But that might mean that someone is not open enough, or I'm just not the right person. But many times I've I've read for people, and it's been fascinating what they get from it. And I always feel like if there's some way I can help people have a positive outcome, like what they can keep track of or stay on track of, or a positive experience, I'm all for that. But if there was something, that you needed to know that was dire in here, I certainly would have communicated it. I
Yeah.
think dire messages, stay patient. Stay patient.
And that is going to be my biggest test in life, is to just slow my mind down, stop overthinking everything, and stay patient. That's the
Yeah.
key here. So for the
Yeah.
listener, if you're taking my example for what's going on, listen to what we're saying here, and why, if you're watching the video and you're seeing the cards, apply this to yourself in a certain way. Like use what I have as an example of what's going on, and maybe you can apply it to your own life. And also, I mean, you're welcome to get readings too. I mean, I feel, you said you're not right for everybody. I feel like you're absolutely 1,000% right for me on this. You're welcoming. Like, I couldn't imagine going into I can, because I'm a strange guy, but I couldn't imagine going into this situation with like someone who's like, dressed like Elvira, and the vibe is like totally dark, and like a movie setting type scenario, where everybody's like, cutting their arms open, there's blood squirting everywhere. But
No, no.
you just got a
But
great vibe. Even if I had bad cards, you gave me a good vibe on all of this, and
yeah,
I
but you
really
know what? Some of those people who are dressed that way, that's the way they want to express themselves.
yeah.
And the thing is, they're nice people too. I know
Yeah,
some
of
of those
course.
people who are dressed that way.
I like those
They
people. Yeah.
are fabulous, fabulous, loving, and caring people.
Yeah.
They just love to express themselves physically that way. And
Mhm.
And I say, hey, the more power to them. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. My advice for people is if you go to an event like the Omaha Holistic Expo or the Witches Night Market or the Mystic Fest or something like that, walk around the room of the different readers. If you want a reading, stop by and chat with each one. And the one you feel deep inside, intuitively, is the one you should have a reading from. That's where your spirit guides are sending you. You have to feel it. You have to feel the energy. And I, at those events, I just love chatting with people.
Right.
And stuff. So I've chatted with a lot of people, even people who never sit down and get a reading from me. But often after we chat, they roam around the room and then they're back at my table.
Yeah.
So it is, what do you feel with those people? Our intuition, we all, I'm going to hold up the star again. This little line here, we all have that little line poured to spirit, and that is our intuition. So it's deep inside of us. Listen to that deep, loving inner voice.
Yeah.
If the inner voice is not loving, it's not your intuition.
Yeah,
It's
for
your
sure.
ego. It's your ego mind. The loving intuition, loving and positive, and don't go down that dark alley. That's the voice you need to listen to.
That's the alley I've been on for too many times. I'm trying to get away from the dark alley.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, I know we don't have a ton of time left. But do you have anything that you would like to promote right now? I'd love to give you the forum or the opportunity to talk to people from the Lincoln area and really all around. Like, is there anything you'd like to promote?
Well, people can find me on YouTube at Joanie at Three Feathers Spiritual Wisdom. I'm on Instagram, Joanie at Three Feathers. In Facebook at Three Feathers Spiritual Wisdom. And the three feathers have to do with a vision of three feathers going across the water. It harkens back to some Native American ancestry in my ancestry as well. I am actually I read out of two stores in Omaha, Solstice in the Vale in La Vista and the Crystal Passage in the Old Market. Awesome. And I will be at the Midwest Metaphysical Expo in Des Moines on November 11 and 12.
Okay.
In Lincoln, I don't have an office, but I do events out of, and I will have an upcoming event the Saturday after Thanksgiving at Emerald Healing Arts and Apothecary. I will be there. That's that small business Saturday. Awesome. So, and that's here in Lincoln, Emerald Healing Arts and Apothecary.
Okay. And could you put everybody on to the group that you guys have where you guys meet once again? Could you tell me where that is?
Yes. I facilitate the group called the Lincoln Metaphysical Discussion Group.
Okay.
And I have a page on Facebook called the Lincoln Metaphysical Discussion Group.
Yeah.
And on Meetup. So if you're in either of those venues, you can join us there, and that will give you the announcements of when the next meeting is. And it's usually on the second Sunday of a month, and we meet once a month at one of the Lincoln Public Libraries.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I definitely am going to make it a point because I joined those groups, but I wanted you to tell the listener, yeah. I'm definitely going to try to make it a point to pop in and see you in person and just kind of sit back and listen and watch and see what you guys are all about and get into the discussions. I would love that.
Yeah. Well, we have a November meeting. I won't be able to facilitate it. One of the other volunteers is facilitating it because I'll be at the Metaphysical Expo in Des Moines, but I'll be back in December for the group. And yeah, we have really fascinating discussions. It's a great group of people that come together and a great energy too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I do have listeners in Iowa and in the Des Moines area. So hopefully,
Oh, fabulous.
if you guys are out there, I would suggest that you guys go and check it all out and say hi to Joni. And if I feel like an idiot. I swear I called you Joanne a couple times by accident, and if I did, I
I don't think
apologize.
so.
I don't know why it keeps running through my head like you're such an idiot. I swear you called her Joanne like 8 times. So if I did, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
looking
no.
at your name on the screen, and it says Joan on there, which makes
I
sense.
know that's kind of my birth name, but I
Yeah,
like to go by Joni.
yeah.
It's much nicer for.
Well, don't get me wrong. I can be such an idiot sometimes. So I hope
No,
that I
no,
didn't
it's
butcher
fine.
anything
It's
too
fine.
bad. And Tarot is the pronunciation that I'm going to go with when I talk about this from now on. But I really do hope that the listeners out there enjoyed this show, and I'm sure once they hear it and watch it, they're going to be begging me to ask you sometime to come back, or any people that that you deal with that would also be interested. I'd love to have you guys on the show again. So I just thank you so much for this. To me, it was kind of a life-changing moment for me. It's what I needed to hear right now.
Oh,
Everything about
good,
what you said, it
good.
really did help me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's probably why the messages that came through, is
Yeah.
because we are. I'd like to reassure everybody we're never alone.
Mhm.
We have our loved ones who have passed over the other side are around us, still loving us. Our angels and our spirit guides are there, and we're never alone. They want us to be happy. They want us to learn our lessons. They want us to choose our purpose and shine our light. And that to me is the best thing. Whenever I have a prayer, I just ask Spirit, allow me to shine my light. Help me shine my light, Spirit.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the best thing is just shining our lights.
Well, you were shining bright with me today, and I so appreciate it. And shout out to Doc Peterson. He's the best for connecting us on this deal, and
He
I
was
hope for many
very
more
excited.
conversations. Yeah, he's a great guy and a great guest, and I love his energy. I like talking to him, and I look forward to doing more things. But thank you so much, Joni, for your time.
Thank you.
I guess the message for today would be, there is hope, and if you're never in a dead spot, like there's always hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So thank you for your time, and I will talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Cain. Thank you, everybody.